The amber light is to notify you to slow down and prepare to stop. Do not try to speed through the amber light. I'm Derval Graham of Love 101 FM, the family station, reminding you to take time drive.
All right, my friends, it is 7 o'clock and it is time for the Morning Watch with Stokeley Marshall.
As to Love 101 FM are advised that the views and opinions expressed in this program are not necessarily those of Love 101 FM.
Hello and welcome to the award-winning show, The Morning Watch on Love 101 FM. I'm your host, Stokeley Marshall. A special welcome to our listeners on love101.org. And if you are overseas and on the move, US listeners can access us at 712-832-8001. And if you are in the UK, 0330-332-6541, or join us via the Love 101 FM app that can be downloaded from the Google Play Store or the Apple Store. You can also join us on Love 101 FM Facebook and YouTube Live. In the first watch today, another World Cup bid fails. Do we need to rethink Jamaica's sporting priorities? And in the second watch, should Jamaica have hosted a World Cup qualifier during national recovery? For our social media question, we ask, do you think sporting events help boost national morale after disaster? Or is the timing too sensitive? Share your responses on our Love 101 Facebook page and YouTube channel, and also on WhatsApp, 876-9973-125, using the hashtag The Morning Watch. We'll share your responses later on the program, but before all of that, here's, I quote, Darren.
Some situations break your heart, but fix your vision.
Very interesting. I quote Darren Mitchell. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Good morning.
Some situations break your heart, but fix your vision. I guess you learned from the lesson.
Indeed.
I shouldn't even laugh, because for some people it's not a joke. But hey,
yes,
with God all things are possible. He gives us the strength. Good morning again, Darren. Listeners, please stay with us. We'll be right back with the first watch.
Inspiration for the day. Join us on the morning. It's time to fill your cup with a blend of hope and inspiration. Join me, Nadine Blair, weekdays, Monday to Friday from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. for Morning Express, your mid-morning sanctuary on Love 101. We'll take you through carefully chosen music to soothe your soul, with thoughtful words to uplift your spirit, programs and features for growth and upliftment. Tune in and be encouraged. Monday to Friday, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. for Morning Express with Nadine Blair, right here on your family station, Love 101. We will take you higher on the Morning Express. On the Morning Express. Oh, yes.
Hello, welcome to the Morning Watch on Love 101 FM. I'm your host, Stokeley Marshall. We are in the first watch. And of course, football. The 2026 World Cup. Reggae Boys. Jamaica failed to secure an automatic qualification to the 2026 World Cup. Head coach Steve McLaren resigned. His departure has reignited long-standing questions about the direction of the Jamaican Football Federation, Jamaican football, and our overall sports development strategy. Now, We have heard commentaries by various persons from various quarters, excuse me, and the question is always going to be, what did we do wrong in the Jamaica Curacao qualifier match? What have we been doing wrong for almost maybe 30 years now? It wasn't, well, we haven't been to the World Cup since 1998. That was when we were coached by Rene Simoes, who would speak a lot about Jesus. Jesus saves. Jesus Christ is the answer. Well, we have as our guest today in this first watch, Kathia Davis, host Sports Talk, Love 101 FM, and Eric Raidmakers, director of Kingston Football Academy. Eric Raidmakers, Kathia Davis. Good morning, Mr. Raidmakers. I hope I pronounced your surname correctly.
Good morning. Good morning. We'll work with.
Morning, Stokeley.
Greetings, Kathia Davis. Eric Raidmakers. Did I pronounce your name correctly, sir? Your surname?
Yeah. I mean, originally I'm from Netherlands. I've been in Jamaica for a good while, but it's Rademakers.
I had a sense that I needed to put an extra pronunciation on the E and shorten how I say it. Thank you for that. Rademakers.
Coach Eric is the easier one that most persons go with over here.
It's okay. I enjoy speaking different accents, so Rademakers works well for me. But thank you. I can say Coach Eric with your permission, sir. Now, Tuesday gone. Well, just some opening thoughts and comments from the both of you. What were your general thoughts? Not too deep yet, just your general thoughts about what happened on Tuesday. Starting with you, Coach Eric.
I mean, first off, it was amazing to see the atmosphere, the people come out, and I've been in Jamaica for now 11 years, and I go to a lot of the matches, if not all of them, and I always miss that feeling that I have when I go matches in Europe, and it was a great atmosphere. So that was something that really, was great to see that we can do that. But of course, the feeling at the end is, we threw it away. We give it up. It's not what we had in mind. Looking at this group that we were in, looking at this World Cup cycle, that it even will come down to a last day like that, and that's how we kind of deal with it. So very disappointing, but at the same time, it was still a proud feeling to see how a nation, even at a time like this, can come together and support the team. And, but of course, a lot of disappointment.
Kathia Davis, can you assist us, please? Help us.
Yeah, I agree with Coach Eric. Disappointing feeling. And this has maybe been my rhetoric over the last 3 days. If you give Jamaica 18 months ago, or even 2 years ago, we knew that when we knew Mexico, Canada, and the USA was going to host the World Cup, and you're going to head into your qualifiers, and you're going to avoid Nicaragua, Honduras, Panama, and you're going to get Curacao, Bermuda, and Trinidad, and that's your qualification route. If anybody gave us that maybe 2 years or so ago, we would be like, no way possible, or would be that easy. I don't think we're ever going to get this type of path to the World Cup ever again. And so the disappointment of just the fans, those in the stadium, those outside the stadium, all those screens that would have been set up across the island, looking for some sort of hope, especially since the passing of Hurricane Melissa, and just being let down. What to do?
So, Kathia Davis, do you think that McLaren's resignation was the right move at this time?
Oh, definitely. Most accurate, because he was appointed 18 months ago to get this job done. He didn't get the job done, so it's only right that he resigned.
Was it his fault?
in terms of us not getting to the World Cup,
Yes.
decisions he would have made definitely, because it's gonna come back. It's gonna come back on him as the coach. So I think poor decision making, especially in the Trinidad match, cost us up an automatic spot to the World Cup.
Okay, thanks for that. In terms of your views and your contribution there, Coach Eric Radamarcus, should McLaren have resigned? And I mean, is it really his fault?
Well, let me tell you, to hear the news so shortly after the match and to see the footage with him with a speech that was well prepared from before, it was very frustrating.
How do you know it was prepared from before?
Excuse me?
How do you know it was prepared from before?
I mean, when you are in a match like this with so much passion and emotion, I mean, I saw footage with Damian Lowe and all the people on the bench during the game. It takes you more than 10 minutes to collect your thoughts and be able to, kind of have a calm interview like that. But even if it wasn't prepared,
maybe he had time to reflect, maybe by himself somewhere. I don't know.
And I think it also goes hand in hand with what we saw him do during the games, not just the last game, but before, that you start to question, to what degree is his mind and his heart fully in this mission. I mean, we're not done with the qualifiers. There is another chance. And as Katia said, he really got hired for the World Cup cycle to go to the World Cup. And with failure, you expect him to leave. And yes, a big amount of failure, but there is still more. And I'm not saying I would want him to keep. I'll come to the next question. Is it his fault? And I like to separate in two. We have the senior team, the senior Jamaican team, and then we have the whole organization behind it. And if the organization is not set properly, it becomes difficult for the team to excel. But on a team level, you have to keep people accountable. And what he has shown us with the national team that he has done is more than enough reason to say, yes, he was a big part of why we're not qualified right now.
So did the Reggae Boys fail, in your view, Coach Eric Radamarcus, because coaching only or coaching at all, management, player selection, any deeper structural issues within the Jamaica Football Federation, in your opinion? Because at this point, perhaps that's all you can offer. We may not know all the facts.
I mean, I work in development every day here in Jamaica. So for me, it's a lot more looking at that long term, and then you end up on the structure of the organization behind it. But when we talk about McLaren, we have to look at the senior team, the selection procedure, the tactical approach to the matches, the mindset of the players that you as the leader of the team have to create. And there are very few aspects where I see that he has done a good job. Yes, we see a few players that kind of came in that we got excited about and give some of the youth some chances with Dixon and Whisper. But even on that note, I think there's a lot of moments that he could have done, should have done better, have made better decisions. So I definitely think it's the right step to move on from McLaren. And I think in evaluation, I think everybody can agree, including himself, that it was not what he could have done with the resources that he had at hand, players, environment, the group, the opponents.
What about management, Coach Radamarcus? What about management?
Hold on.
Yeah.
Okay. If you'd allow me, because this just happened.
Oh.
So for the FIFA World Cup 2025 playoff draw, this just took place because I'm watching it live.
Yes.
Jamaica is in path 1. And for our first game in the playoffs, we will play New Caledonia. And if we win that game, we will play the Democratic Republic of Congo to get to the World Cup. So our path to the World Cup is beat New Caledonia and then play Democratic Republic of Congo, beat them to get to the World Cup. So just wanted to say that.
For
because that just happened.
Thank you for that. And you probably heard it first right here on Love 101 FM, the family station, and on the cutting edge. Coach Coach Eric, you just heard that bit of news. I don't know if that helps to filter into the answer you're giving.
I mean, the mindset of the players, what we were talking about, the management of the players. And I think looking at these opponents, I mean, every match is a final at this point. So if it's New Caledonia or Congo, where of course Congo has a much bigger maybe reputation and name if you prepare for them. But if we don't prepare for both matches as if it's the most important match of our lives, we're going to struggle. And that's what we've seen. And
hold that thought for a second, Coach Eric. And of course, Kathia Davis, we'll be coming back to you as we were now upon a break. Listeners, please stay with us. We'll be right back on the Morning Watch.
When we started this company, we were focused on helping people find their way. And when it comes to critical illness and life insurance, we're all about helping people find a way to live more. Like our JN Life Aid that covers your first diagnosis and is there in case of a second occurrence. That's how much we're invested in you living your life. Welcome to the art of living insurance from JN Life.
This is a national call for nurse volunteers. Jamaica must recover after Hurricane Melissa. Our communities must heal. If you're a licensed registered nurse, enrolled assistant nurse, or registered midwife, your skills can make a life-saving difference. Join the recovery effort. Contact the Health Emergency Operations Center at 8881-LOVE. That's 888-6653, or visit moh.gov.jm to sign up today. Let's heal together. Let's rebuild together. A message from the Ministry of Health and Wellness.
Something big is coming this Christmas.
One unforgettable experience.
Mark your calendars. Saturday, December 20, 2025. The magic of the season is about to hit Jamaica like never before.
Where will it be? Who will be there? Stay tuned.
Because season splendor is coming and you don't want to miss it.
Season Splendor. The countdown begins.
Welcome back to the Morning Watch. I'm your host, Stokeley Marshall. We are in the first watch having a very important conversation with two individuals here discussing Jamaica's football. And the topic is another World Cup bid fails. Do we need to rethink Jamaica's sporting priorities? Our guests are Kathia Davis, host of Sports Talk, right here at Love 101 FM. And we also have Eric Radamakas, director, Kingston Football Academy. Just before the break, Kathia Davis gave us an update in terms of who Jamaica will be playing first and second in this new situation here that we have found ourselves in, having failed to make the automatic qualification, having failed to automatically qualify rather. And Eric Radamakas, you were completing a thought saying that in relation to the update we just got through Kathia Davis, that we'll be playing New Caledonia first and thereafter the Democratic Republic of the Congo. It will not be a walk in the park. Coach Eric, would you like to continue before we bring back in Kathia Davis?
Yeah, I mean, just briefly on that, we saw against Trinidad, but even the teams that we played, that our players, they don't perform as good as that we see them play at the club level, etc. And I think that is really to blame on the player management. You have a short time when you have international breaks, so you don't have a whole heap of weeks to instill something. So you have to be able to get the players in the right mindset. And when you have a certain type of culture in your country and even instilled in the players, you have to have a certain feel for that. And I think when we looked at McLaren, we see players incomplete passes that are simple. To me, that just comes down to you didn't get them in the right mindset. You didn't get them in the right focus. And that means you didn't relate to them in a certain way that they really bought into everything that you demand from them. And even maybe some of the leading players in the group, Ethan Pinnock, Damien Lowe, Andre Blake, have to look at it and say we were not able to get the team, all the players into that focus that we can show what we actually do and even rise above it. Because that's really the mindset you want to get in. So yeah, on player management, a lot of things went wrong on that level as well, which comes down to the coaching staff.
Kathia Davis, you've heard Coach Eric. I don't know if you have anything to add in relation to where we will be now in terms of playing firstly against New Caledonia and then secondly against the Democratic Republic of the Congo, and just generally speaking, the whole matter of the management of the JFF, player selection, if there are any deeper structural issues. I don't know if you have any thoughts or any opinions there.
Yeah, I definitely agree with Coach Eric. Systematically, we have a problem as it relates to our national team. And as Coach Eric alluded to earlier, it is mind-boggling that our players, right,
Yes,
across the board, the squad, that they can shine for their clubs, but when they come to represent the national team, you get a subpar performance from them. And that is not on the players. That's on the management. That's on the coaches. That's on being unable to motivate, to instill, to just bring out national pride. And I don't believe, even from day one, and I'm going to go back to head coach Steve McCarran, and he is not the only one to be blamed in this non-automatic or being able to have go through playoffs. He's not the only one to be blamed, but he's at the head of the ship on the coaching side. But I think seriously, as we go into these playoffs and future, the JFF really have to take a look in the mirror after this and say, obviously we're doing something wrong here, and is either we're gonna look to get it right, or this is gonna continue happening time and time again.
Kathia Davis, who do you think can take the reins of coaching at this time and hopefully get us through, to the World Cup, if we can sort of, as it were, surmount this barrier, this hurdle?
I've thought long and hard about this, or I have been thinking long and hard about this. And let me tell you why. I've been thinking about
Coach Eric, who is on the call right here.
Yeah, I've been thinking. Oh, not Coach Eric. I mean, Coach Eric is a fantastic youth program coach.
Right, we could break the news right here.
No, Coach Eric is a fantastic development coach, and he knows that. So he would tell you no. So I don't need to tell you no for Coach Eric.
I would take the under 15 or under 17 soon, but we
right,
exactly. Heard him? Okay, so we have heard it here for the first time on Love 101 FM. Coach Radamakas is considering. Anyway, continue.
Right, but on a serious note, I think even from before, right? Because let's go back to our performance in the Gold Cup. I really think
Kathia Davis, what about Craig Butler? Let's get to cut to the chase.
No, I don't. No, I would say no. I think in my head.
Why you said no so quick?
Because it is what it like in my head. I have to go through. But this is what I have said. I think we could possibly
Tapper.
as an interim coach.
What about bring back Tapper?
Let me answer now. I would go personally. I would probably bring back Winfred Schaefer.
Okay.
Or even I would go Miguel Coley.
Okay. Interesting.
That's my thought.
I would like to step in briefly, because from Curacao, my background in Netherlands and just the Curacao background with Netherlands, I have to point out, and this is most of the countries that have qualified for the World Cup. I saw the captain in the interview really saying it's 12 years in the making, this from when we start the project. People laugh at us and we work towards it. All of the players, I think we've seen it, have played in Netherlands at some point, go through the youth system in Netherlands. They got a coach that knows the Dutch system, same way with the coaching staff. And when you talk about something that we're talking about, we tend to spend all the time on that head coach, the senior national team, but we have to look at the structure as well. And if we don't get a certain vision that is aligned with whichever coach we get in, if we get a new technical director, a new youth coach, a new kit man, we have to have a certain vision in place that those persons work in.
Flesh out for us, Coach Eric, flesh out for us what you see as a good vision from a development perspective.
Well, so how it goes, even with the coaching, that's really where it starts with the education. All of the coaches have to go through the system and we teach them football in a certain way. So this is not the general, but we narrow it down that how do we want to teach our Jamaican players?
Okay.
Now, we might choose to have this in line with England because a lot of our players will eventually be recruited having gone through the English system.
Yes.
Just how we see the Curacao and the Dutch. So we'll have to put some thought in that and what do we want with the national team. But we can't have every coach coming with his way. And then when we look at the support that he gets from the JFF, you have now individuals that have their thoughts, that have their ways. And again, I'm not in the JFF, but when we look at all these countries that go, there is that long-term plan with new players come in and out. Is the same plan we're working with. It's the same vision.
The GFF might tell you, Coach Eric, that they have a plan and that it is working, or that they have a plan. It may not have worked this time for this particular match, but they have a plan.
That's where accountability have to come in. And even if you have the right plan and the right vision, but the wrong people, you have to have accountability.
The wrong people?
Work. So
the wrong people, sir?
You have, well, we don't know where the plan is, but that's where JFF have to evaluate. That's where persons involved, whoever gets involved in that, has to evaluate. And I'm not saying we have to create a new plan.
I don't hold any brief for anybody at the JFF, but I'm just asking. You said the wrong people.
Yeah, like McLaren.
What do you mean by that?
McLaren was a wrong person. And within JFF, I'm sure if we are very critical at ourselves, there's a lot of persons who either can do better or should be replaced by better.
Oh.
And maybe we even have to say, let us not invest, because I don't know McLaren's salary that he had. But every time we get that foreign coach, a lot of our resources goes towards that individual who's not bought into Jamaican football for years after years. Get some of that money that we are having, get the FIFA investment, get this national team, and put it into persons who are going to be with the Jamaican program for longer. So we actually put the resources towards those that build the long-term vision. And that you might end up with a local coach. Maybe a Miguel Coley, who is a local coach with foreign experience, but we don't have to give him the same amount, or they might not be demanding the same amount as a foreign coach, what we had with Hal Grimson, with his entire staff that comes in with McLaren. Maybe we should go for a more less expensive coach and can put more resources towards the structure behind what the JFF really is.
Interesting thoughts. Kathia Davis, heard you kind of almost commenting while, Coach Eric was speaking about, in terms of who, I don't know if you want to elaborate on that or if you have any other thoughts you want to share with us, because...
Oh, no. Definitely agree with Coach Eric. We have to get a system. Belgium did it. It worked for them. We have to get a system. Every country in the world, most countries, especially those at the World Cup now, they have a system, and that system starts with 13-year-olds. It doesn't start when we get to 19 and 20. So
in fact,
we definitely go ahead.
I'm fully with you. As a matter of fact, when Coach Eric said he would take the 15 to 17-year-olds, I think that's what he said, Coach Eric. My mind went there. The younger set, bringing them up to speed. And Kathia Davis, we do well in track and field because we have a system.
Exactly.
From primary school coming right up, prep school coming right up. The children are learning to run, and we have a system.
So we have to have a program, the national program, or under 13 or under 15, 17, or everybody has under 20s and the national team. It has to be a national vision.
Yes.
We have to buy into something nationally. We can't okay, after they go under 20 or wherever, under 17, and then we just leave them and then hope that they will develop, and then we try to bring them back in the national team, or we hope that they will, something will happen. No, the program has to be that we get a style of football as Jamaicans and buy into that, and every coach is taught that, And so every player is taught that. So no matter where in the world you go to play, when you come back, you know, this is the style of play that we do in Jamaica.
And you know, in Jamaica, we have boys champs and girls champs, boys and girls champs, and we have this long-standing tradition. We have had this tradition in track and field for such a long time. That's likely why we're doing so well in track and field. I don't know why we think it's going to be any different with football, you know, but I think we're completely out of time already. Kathia Davis and Coach Eric Radamakas, I want to thank the both of you for a very interesting segment. The discussion is not over, obviously. More and on. You agree, Kathia Davis? The discussion is not over. Coach Eric, the discussion is not finished.
No, not at all. I mean,
Yes,
you know, the powers that be have to keep talking, and we have to be critical at ourselves. Let us not say, all right,
in terms of this segment this morning, we have to leave it here for today. I want to thank the both of you again for your time and for your thoughts. And we're looking forward to hopefully Jamaica doing something and even getting through to the World Cup in this next round. Listeners, please stay with us. We'll be right back on the Morning Watch.
Start your journey with a JN Small Business Loan with small business loans as little as $10,000 and up to $4 million. The time by JN Small Business Loan is...
It is 7:30.
It's the BMall Auto Limited Big Hurricane Relief Sale. Visit our Santa Cruz location and get 15 to 20% off all auto parts. Yes, 15 to 20% off. Conditions apply. Enjoy 15% off all auto glass purchases at all locations, plus get free installation. Hurry! The sale ends November 30, 2025. Visit us at 24 Caledonia Road, Mandeville, 114 C. Hagler Park Road, Kingston, and 16 Main Street, Santa Cruz. Call 876-618-2781 or 876-618-2783. BMall Auto Limited. Quality parts, great prices.
This is a national call for nurse volunteers. Jamaica must recover after Hurricane Melissa. Our communities must heal. If you're a licensed registered nurse, enrolled assistant nurse, or registered midwife, your skills can make a life-saving difference. Join the recovery effort. Contact the Health Emergency Operations Center at 8881-LOVE. That's 888-6653, or visit moh.gov.jm to sign up today. Let's heal together. Let's rebuild together. A message from the Ministry of Health and Wellness.
Something big is coming this Christmas.
One unforgettable experience.
Mark your calendars. Saturday, December 20, 2025. The magic of the season is about to hit Jamaica like never before.
Where will it be? Who will be there? Stay tuned.
Because season splendor is coming and you don't want to miss it.
Season Splendor. The countdown begins.
Get your inspiration for the day. Join us on the morning.
It's time to fill your cup with a blend of hope and inspiration. Join me, Nadine Blair, weekdays, Monday to Friday from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. for Morning Express, your mid-morning sanctuary on Love 101. We'll take you through carefully chosen music to soothe your soul, with thoughtful words to uplift your spirit, programs and features for growth and upliftment. Tune in and be encouraged. Monday to Friday, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. for Morning Express with Nadine Blair, right here on your family station, Love 101.
We will take you higher on the Morning Express. On the Morning Express. Oh, yes. Eternal Father.
Right now, our brothers and sisters in Western Jamaica are hurting. Homes have been destroyed. Families are struggling to start again after Hurricane Melissa.
Love 101 FM, the family station, is calling on you to join hearts and hands in love in action.
You can make a difference today by donating cash or kind to help rebuild lives.
We're collecting non-perishable food items,
Bottled water,
baby supplies,
hygiene products,
toiletries,
cleaning supplies,
bedding, tarpaulins, and small household items.
Drop off your donations of cash and kind at Love 101 FM or participating partner churches island-wide.
Every can, every package, every dollar helps bring hope to the hurting. Together, we are Love in Action. Love 101 FM,
The Family Station.
Get ready to take a trip down memory lane this Throwback Thursday. It's out alive 1 to 5 with yours truly, Sarah and the Chirpy One. Tune in at 1:45 for a whirlwind of wordplay with Mental Size. Prayer Warriors unite, fuel your faith and ignite your spirit at 2 p.m. with Prayer Blast. At 2:15 inside Piece of the Past, we look at something from the past. At 3 p.m., take a musical trip back in time with our Throwback Thursday playlist. At 4:30, stick and stay for more fun coming your way as Auntie Vashti wraps things up with the Small People Show. All this and more will come alive this Throwback Thursday with me, Sarah and the Chirpy One on the Family Station, Love 101.
Come on now, boom, you're alive. Everybody, boom, you're alive. Come on now, boom.
Here's why you can't afford to miss the Morning Watch.
I love listening to the Morning Watch because topics are discussed and issues are highlighted that are of major importance, which in turn edify me.
The Morning Watch, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays.
I like listening to the Morning Watch. I find it very informative. I find it very interesting. The topics that are covered are very, very wide.
The Morning Watch, thought-provoking, insightful, current. Listen for the probing questions with Attorney at Law Stokeley Marshall and the in-depth discussion with Reverend Dr. Dallin Toussaint. The Morning Watch, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. The Morning Watch is on the Family Station, Love 101.
Welcome back to the Morning Watch. I'm your host, Stokeley Marshall. Let's take a look now at what our friends in the social media land space will be saying in relation to our feedback question. Of course, that question is, do you think yes, I'm sorry about that, listeners and viewers. Yes. We'll be right back on the Morning Watch.
Here's why you can't afford to miss the Morning Watch.
I love listening to the Morning Watch because topics are discussed and issues are highlighted that are of major importance, which in turn edify me.
The Morning Watch, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays.
I like listening to the Morning Watch. I find it very informative. I find it very interesting. The topics that are covered are very, very wide.
The Morning Watch, thought-provoking, insightful, current. Listen for the probing questions with Attorney at Law Stokeley Marshall and the in-depth discussion with Reverend Dr. Dallin Toussaint. The Morning Watch, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. The Morning Watch is on the Family Station, Love 101.
Welcome back to the Morning Watch. I'm your host, Stokeley Marshall. We do apologize for that interruption a moment ago. We'll be going through the newspapers and then heading right into the second watch. And in terms of the newspapers, we have here in the Daily Observer, St. Elizabeth hardest hit parish, says World Bank. St. Elizabeth hardest hit parish, says World Bank. And we also have here on the front page of the Daily Observer, the headline is Stay Prepared. Stay prepared. Met Service expert says Jamaica not yet out of the woods for storm threats. That story by Vanessa McKenzie. And we take a look now at the Gleaner. And in the Gleaner, we have among our lead stories, Mega Blow. Western Bureau. Mega Mart Wholesale Club is to permanently close its largest store. Located in Montego Bay, St. James, after suffering catastrophic flood damage during the passage of Hurricane Melissa, the closure brings to an end 18 years, and that story continues. That will be quite a blow to many persons in Western Jamaica. And we also have among our lead stories in the Gleaner. Cops kill 8 men in 100 hours. Well, let's take a look at what the story says. An operation targeting a suspected cop killer ended in the fatal shooting of 3 men during what investigators describe as an armed daylight confrontation along the westbound lane of the Nelson Mandela Highway in the corporate area on Wednesday. Those and many other stories in our various news sources, of course, coming up next. We'll read some feedback from our Facebook, YouTube, and WhatsApp question, which is, do you think sporting events help boost national morale after disaster, or is timing too sensitive? And of course, if you haven't done so yet, leave your responses on our Facebook or YouTube, Love 100 FM Jamaica Live, and also WhatsApp comments and voice notes to 876-9973-125 using the hashtag The Morning Watch. And Darren, shall we move right now into the response to the feedback question, sir? Yes, and that is, do you think sporting events help boost national morale after disaster, or is the timing too sensitive? Darren, what are the responses or the response that you have received so far?
All right, so I have a voice note here from Edna.
Good morning, what? Good morning, Love 101 listeners and staff. Yes, I don't see a problem hosting the football match at the time when it did. Just during we call it now a disaster for Jamaica. But I'm so disappointed that they didn't win. But another thing that disappointed me most was that hearing just after the match that the head coach is retiring. That hit me. It hit me because I've seen it several times. As something go wrong, you hear that the coach gone. You know, it's like this thing is like them run up and down like chicken without head. You understand me? That's it. I don't like it. You understand? JFF need to get it right. Over the years, they are not getting it right, and they need to get it right.
Edna has spoken her thoughts. She has expressed her thoughts. Interesting. Any others, or that was it? Well, we move right into the second watch. Thank you, Darren. Now, in the wake of Hurricane Melissa, with thousands still rebuilding and resources stretched thin, Jamaica still hosted a World Cup qualifying match. And was it to be a boost to national morale? Some would probably ask if it was a misstep to have had the match in this time of crisis. Were the recoveries and attention better spent? Should the resources rather and the attention better spent on recovery, or must sport go on? You know, should sporting events continue notwithstanding the context we are in? We have as our guests for this interesting segment, Michael Diamond, President of Consumers Intervention Jamaica. And on the other hand, we also have sports commentator Reverend Teddy Jones. Reverend Teddy Jones and Michael Diamond. Good morning to you both, gentlemen.
Hey, good morning, sir Stokeley.
Morning, Stokeley, and good morning to your listeners.
Michael, good morning, and the listeners.
Thanks for having you. Thanks for both of you being with us this morning. We're almost upon the break already, but generally speaking, your opening thoughts before we head to the break, starting with you, Michael Diamond.
Well, again, I'm certainly on the position that we should not have had that event.
What?
Yeah, we definitely should not have had the event. And it
ball game
goes along.
The ball game can go on in the middle of you talk, sir.
It personally can. In circumstances where it would have been less devastation facing the country. But at this particular time, it was quite insensitive
You
to
thought it
have
was
that event.
insensitive. All right, hold that thought for a
Very
second.
insensitive.
Hold that thought for a second, only because of time. Reverend Teddy Jones, ball game should I play same way or shouldn't have no ball game?
I think I approach it from the perspective of on the other side, while certainly absolutely acknowledging the intensity of the damage and its impact, psychological, including. On the other side, I saw it as an opportunity, a tremendous opportunity
To lift the morale of the country.
lifting of the morale.
Hold
Giving
that thought for a second.
a very
So,
welcome
Reverend Teddy
boost.
Jones, you're saying lifting the morale of the country. Michael Diamond scratch it out completely, him delete him, say no game, not for go on. Listeners, please stay with us. We'll be right back on the morning watch.
Grace is giving shoppers discounts on over 20 of your favorite Grace products when you cash out at participating supermarkets. The time by Grace could move is
7:45.
Tell me where you get the money transfer. Alliance. Where you get the money transfer. Alliance. Where you get the money transfer. Money move like a bird, like a plane, it's a blur. Money quick, money fast, money reach in a flash. This your agent no run out of cash. Pay the rent, pay the bills or buy the groceries. Pick up all for the cash and pay the school fee.
Money when and where you need it. Alliance MoneyGram and Ria Money Transfer. Convenient locations island-wide. A member of Sagicor Group Jamaica.
Tell me where you get the money transfer. Alliance.
We know you're making every dollar work harder, choosing carefully, buying what you need, and making it stretch as far as you can. That's why Grace is giving shoppers discounts on over 20 of your favorite Grace products when you cash out at participating supermarkets. It's our way of helping you sweeten moments together, share more meals, and take care of the people you love. Make a good move with 20% savings from Grace.
Hurricane Melissa may be over, but the emotional impact can linger. It's normal to feel anxious, sad, or overwhelmed. Talk about your feelings, stay connected with family and friends, and reach out for help if you need it. Call the Mental Health and Suicide Prevention Helpline at 888 New Life. That's 888-639-5433. You can also access the UMatter chat line by messaging the word support to 876-838-4897 or at YouReport Jamaica. A message from the Ministry of Health and Wellness.
Welcome back to the Morning Watch. I'm your host, Stokeley Marshall. We are in the second watch, and we're having a very, very, very interesting discussion with two gentlemen here. And the topic is, should Jamaica have hosted a World Cup qualifier during national recovery? Our guests, Michael Diamond and Reverend Teddy Jones. Reverend Teddy Jones is a sports commentator. Michael Diamond, President, Consumers Intervention Jamaica. So just before the break, essentially, Michael Diamond, you're saying we shouldn't have had a match at all in the middle of a national recovery, having had a disaster. And Reverend Teddy Jones, you're saying, well, yes, have the match because it could have lifted the morale of the country. Now, taking us from there now, some would ask were the resources of the country, if they could have been better spent on recovery rather than trying to rebuild morale, or some would put it another way or somewhat slightly differently, were the resources and attention better spent on recovery, or should they have been better spent on attention and recovery, or does sports play an essential role in rebuilding the national spirit? Starting with you, Michael Diamond, since you're basically saying no match at all.
Okay, well, let's just be very clear here, is that Jamaica currently has still not fully embraced what has happened, what will happen, because this is not a situation that is gone. The hurricane may be past, but the aftermath will be with us for many, many years. And what happened is that event, for while it could have possibly been relocated off island, the reality of the situation is that for those who would want to say could build morale, the fact that the results were not what individuals perhaps expected, it could also have lowered morale. But that's not the case. The case is that we need to be more sensitive. We need to sensitize the entire country regarding what we're going to be facing, because this situation is not only going to affect the West, it will affect the entire island over a period of time. And the longer it takes for us to become sensitized to that, it's the less cooperation we're going to have in the national interest. So the idea of putting resources, even though some was allocated prior to, we have to be very mindful of what we're facing and how do we get the people of Jamaica prepared for what is to come.
So, what would you have regarded as a decent length of time before we had such an event at the National Stadium? A year?
I would definitely,
6 months?
what I would say, the best way for me to answer that is to say that we're actually 20 years from Hurricane Katrina that delivered a very similar type of devastation that Jamaica is facing.
So we should,
and
we should wait
after
we should,
20
we
years,
should wait
they
20
have
years to have a match like that at the stadium?
not necessarily, but after 20 years, they have not yet fully recovered. So imagine what will happen for Jamaica that is less prepared and with lacking of resources. How long will it take us to be on a footing that we'd be able to get back to some level of normalcy? So the reality of it is that how do we want history to record us? That Jamaica missed the World Cup because resources were allocated for recovery efforts? Or do we say that Jamaica lost out on qualifying because they were probably affected by the hurricane? So the vanity of that event
you know that
is
that's a
something we could have put to the side.
You're saying that probably we lost because we are reeling from the effects of Melissa?
Absolutely not, but that could certainly be what history writes of us, and it would look more insensitive that we made such an attempt rather than saying, guess what, let us put all our efforts and energy towards the relief effort rather than this type of distraction.
Reverend Teddy Jones, on the other side of the fence.
Yes.
Saying, essentially,
know,
sports for maybe whatever period of time. He never said exactly how long.
I can't.
Not an event like that, anyway.
No, I can't take that view. So there's the Easter schoolboys football as a case in point. Certainly not the same size and scale. There is also the
all right, let me ask you this. Let me ask you this, Reverend Teddy Jones. Suppose we had said, okay, we are having this match at the stadium. We're trying to qualify for the World Cup. Of course, we didn't automatically qualify, but we still have a chance. Suppose we had said, well, we are dedicating, I don't know, find some way of extending a hand to those who are still in need in terms of the recent Hurricane Melissa, whilst at the same time having the match. I mean, was that made prominent enough? Maybe,
No, I mean, well, I can't recall hearing that said, but notwithstanding not hearing that said, I don't know if it was said, but notwithstanding, even if that was not said, I think it would be a little bit disingenuous or maybe intellectually dishonest to suggest that the fact that it was not said that the match having gone on put a pause or a stop or a dent or took anything away from the rebuilding and the recovery and the assistance efforts.
No. In other words, I'm saying officially we know the match was taking place, but I don't think I recall hearing alongside in the media in terms of the marketing and the promotion of the match. I can't recall hearing that whilst we are going to go to the National Stadium to support the Reggae Boys, we need to also remember those who have suffered as victims in terms of Hurricane Melissa. Keep them on your minds at all times. Doing some sort of marketing or some kind of promotion to not let it appear in any event that we have just put them aside because you have some people who have no roofs, you have some people who don't have any water, some people can't take a proper bath, some people cannot. I mean, the sanitation, it's miserable for a lot of people. So I can't remember hearing that kind of juxtaposition of our sympathy for those who have suffered from Melissa and condolences to the families of those who have died, whilst at the same time still having this match and asking God for help. Asking God for help.
So I hear you. And, it said what the saying go, hindsight,
2020 vision, yes.
It's 2020 vision, right?
Yes.
So perhaps in hindsight, a very intentional effort could have been made to frame it that way.
Yes.
What I did hear, however, and see was this is how I saw it framed. We have been hit by the hurricane. Our spirits are daunted. We will recover. We will rebuild. Let us support the boys. Let us support the team, notwithstanding, because this too is part of our efforts, of part of our rebuilding, and part of a demonstration of our resilience.
Yes.
I certainly take the point that it would have been greater if that deliberate narrative had been cast, but certainly the frontline workers would have still been out there. And one of the things I know that there are persons who reside in some of the hardest hit areas who traveled in for the match.
Yes.
I saw a couple of persons, so and I suspect that there would have been others, maybe not a large number of others, or the kind of numbers that would have probably been had us not been dealing with this. But the stadium was significantly packed.
It was packed. It was packed.
Yeah, and I don't think it's persons only from the KMTR kind of a thing, KMA.
Yes, and persons would have liked the phone in as well.
Yeah, I don't want us to be beating ourselves over this. One, the thing was set. It's not something that we said, okay, hey, let's go play a match at the stadium. If that was the case, I would have had a different view. Right, so there are a number of other external factors that would have had, and I do believe that the JFF would have agonized over this in the same way that I see ISA agonizing over what to do with the schoolboy football, in the same way that the Premier League, Jamaica Premier League, the JPL, thought long and hard. We heard from the coaches, those on this side of the island, those on the other side of the island. And there have been a lot of thought and consideration going into what now? How now do we continue with sport? So I'm not getting a sense of insensitivity from some of the key players in the sporting sector.
I don't get that sense of insensitivity either, but I mean, Mr. Diamond did make an interesting point. People are suffering. But I want to switch gears.
No doubt about that.
I want to switch gears slightly. How much are we relying on God in all of this? I get the sense that, Hurricane Melissa came and went. We know people are suffering. Then a match is coming up. And we sort of say, okay, let's seek some national morale. Let us lift our spirits. What about God in the process? Reverend Teddy Jones.
And I'm one of those.
You can't use sports as a drug, to just feel.
No. And I do believe, again, I don't claim to know all that's happening in all the different circles. I know I happen to be in 2 ministers' fraternals based on how the location that I'm in.
There's even some people saying we should have national days of prayer.
Right, I'm seeing calls for that. But I believe whatever is being planned, separate and apart from whether that national prayer thing or fasting thing happens, let me phrase it as an encouragement to the fraternals that are working. I know my 2 fraternals are working and planning the interventions, the prayer meetings, the community walks, the street side stuff.
Well, maybe the loss is an opportunity for us to get serious about repentance. Maybe the country needs to focus on God at this time. Don't just rely on a match to lift our spirits. We need more than lifting up spirits. Some would say we need to get into our spirits and
that's it.
Find our focus on Jesus at this time.
Yeah, man. Draw, reconnect, or connect. this may be.
I'm looking at the time and I'm seeing Reverend Teddy Jones and Mr. Michael Diamond. I'm seeing we're completely out of time. I want to thank the both of you for a very interesting conversation, although short, but interesting.
Yeah,
Mr.
man.
Diamond,
Always a pleasure. Thank you very much.
Thank you both for your
All the
thoughts.
best, right? Let's
Thank you
continue
so
to
much.
work together.
Thank you, listeners and viewers, for being with us. Join Reverend Dr. Dallin Toussaint next week as he looks at the issues of the day. And of course, visit the Love 101 FM YouTube channel and Facebook page. And now, of course, for all our Love 101 FM programs, download our app and stay connected to us. Love 101 FM, the #1 family station in Jamaica. And this has been the Morning Watch. Thanks to our producer, Kathy Gale, and to our guests. I am Stokeley, Marshall, and you're back to Love in the Morning with Darren.
Experience the art of living insurance with J at Life. The time is
8 o'clock.